According to UNICEF, around 2.2 billion people around the world currently lack access to safely managed drinking water services. In addition, the UN estimates that 3.2 billion people live in agricultural areas with high to very high water shortages or scarcity. One nation that has a severe water shortage problem is Iran. Today, the nation has lost approximately 85% of its natural groundwater resources due to overpumping and excessive dam and well building. If the problem cannot be reversed, many predict that more than 50 million Iranians may need to flee their country over the next 20 to 30 years. To avoid such dire consequences, Iranian leaders need to manage their remaining water resources very carefully through a process known as watershed management.
A watershed, or drainage basin, is an area of land that channels groundwater, rainfall, and snowmelt to creeks, streams, and rivers, and then to a common outflow point like reservoirs, bays, or the sea. A watershed not only transports water, but also includes sediment and other materials, including pollutants. Watershed management is a structured method of monitoring and at times dictating the kinds of land use practices and water management activities within a given watershed. A well-managed watershed will ensure not only the highest quality water is provided for a population, but will also prevent floods and droughts. However, watersheds are often shared between different nations, which means managing them must require collaboration between foreign governments. This type of cooperation is crucial to ensure watersheds function properly and to avoid pollution and overuse. Watersheds are also affected by new land development, runoffs from developed areas, agricultural activities, household activities such as gardening, septic system use, and water diversion. Effective management tackles all of these issues, as well as identifying, monitoring, and where needed, implementing improvements in watershed activities in order to reduce their impact on the watershed. Where possible, a baseline is also calculated to provide a reference point for future watershed management decisions. Watershed management programs may make recommendations for improvements, such as planning sewage systems, identifying wildlife restoration programs and strategies, and finding ways to provide non-structural flood protection. It is therefore crucial that the country continues developing an efficient watershed management system. One example of good watershed management can be found in India. In 2003, a tiny village called Wankut partnered with the Watershed Organization Trust, a not-for-profit NGO, to bring water to the arid area. At the time, Wankut received only 18 inches of rain per year. WOTR interfered and built a water treatment structure composed of bunds and check dams. This proved to be successful. The villagers haven't had to import tankers for water since the project's development. Watershed management solutions don't have to be complicated to be effective. With a few properly planned changes, water can be brought to where it is needed the most.